Hey you guys, it's me Kianna coming at you. Good morning to you all. It's around 10:30 in the morning and I wanted to do a video. You guys know I've been promising for the past 3 or 4 weeks at least, that I was going to start doing couple talks like I used to do. And you guys that watch my videos know I've been saying this for about a month now and said that Chuck and I were going to start doing our couple talks again. Every week I've been putting it off because if you look at my previous couple talks with Chuck, um, I have to kind of set the mood for Chuck to actually open up because he's not like me. He's more of a type of person that you have to really um, kind of coach him into it, so to speak, for him to open up. So I used to make sure that I set the mood. I used to make sure that the kids was not around and stuff like that. So that's kind of hard for us to do, being that Pootie is always around usually. So I've been putting it off until like basically when Pootie is not really around that much or he's asleep, but we haven't been able to do it. So I've been putting off what I wanted to talk to you guys about, which I'm talking about in this video, for literally about a month, you guys. And I've been promising and promising and promising it, because it was going to reveal some things that I told you guys that it wasn't that I was trying to hide it, but it was the fact that since it wasn't about me, um, I wanted him to tell it in his own time. And I wanted it to be a message behind it. I wanted the timing to be right, and I wanted him to be able to express things and to tell certain things. And I think that will explain a lot of some things in the past as well that you may heard me say a little bit, or some things that maybe you've seen but you really didn't understand or whatever. Okay. So I'm telling you this. I'm doing this video. Chuck is near me. He's just not on camera because he's over there doing something. But he'll be helping me, be able to talk about some of the things that maybe I don't know a lot about. Um, and I hope that you guys get something from what we're talking about. Um, and one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about it is because it is part of who he is. It is part of some of our daily struggles, some of his daily struggles. And with growing and trying to grow, um, I think it's important for us to show the truth, and I think it's important for it to be shown, struggles and all, so that it can help somebody else. Um, so, um, a lot of you guys don't know this, but my husband was born with a disability. He was born with this disability, and it is a collaboration of several different things. He has a form of MS, multiple sclerosis. He also has a form of spinal bifida, and also a disease called, what is it called? Bell's disease, baby? Beals disease. Okay, now Beals disease is, as far as what I've checked, it is a muscular or skeletal disease where it affects him throughout his whole entire body, literally from head to toe. Um, and what it does, as far as visually, what you can see is it causes severe spine curvature. Now, this is a degenerative disease where it worsens as time goes by. But my husband is a walking miracle, you guys, and I mean that literally. Um, Chuck, most of his life, literally was in wheelchairs. Um, Chuck also has, by the age of what, 14, honey?
10,
By the age of
12.
10, 12, how many surgeries did you have?
Oh, John.
14 surgeries, and these were major surgeries, you guys. Um, he's had bones had to be broken several times. literally at one time all throughout his body where he was in body cast. Things like that. Um, my husband is truly, in every sense of the word, a walking miracle. And when I look at him, and he may don't even know this, when I look at him, I see the power of God on him. My husband battles a lot of things. He he has a tongue on him. He you know sometimes he still wants to drink beers and stuff like that. My husband still smokes cigarettes. But I know that God has a major purpose for my husband. Because no way, shape, or form somebody can be born with all of these things. No way, shape, or form that somebody can go through all of those surgeries. No way, shape, or form a person could have lost their father, who he looked at as a king at such a young age, an age where he would start needing him the most, and go through those things and not come over with a purpose, a strong purpose. And I think that one of the one of the reasons I married Chuck was because I saw in him not what he was today. I saw in him who he's destined to be. And that's why we have to not just look at people for what they have. And this is including men. Us as women, you guys, we have to not look at men as, well, he has this, so he's worthy of me. Well, he's got this kind of job, so he's worthy of me. Because my husband, I told you guys, was homeless just like I was. We met in a homeless shelter in Bible study, remember? And a lot of people would have said, I want somebody to have more than me. I want somebody that's, got this and got that. And at one point in my life, I may would have said that too. But I was able to see with my spiritual eye, because I was growing spiritually even more then. I was able to see with my spiritual eye who he is destined to be. I was able to see not for just today. I was able to see and look beyond a disability. I was able to see and look beyond, you know, financial things that he lacked. I was able to look beyond that. And I loved him in spite of and despite. Chuck, even though he's disabled, you guys, he has never, ever let that stop him. Chuck, when he was little, would be in newspapers and stuff because of him being in Special Olympics and stuff like that, being in a wheelchair and doing sports, and it just, he's just, I think he doesn't realize how awesome he actually is and how much of a miracle he actually is. Even though he's disabled, you guys, even though his body hurts every day, all day long, he never lets that stop him from being a good father. He never lets that stop him from being the husband he needs to be to me. Chuck still does not let me carry any bags when we go to the grocery store. Now, mind you, y'all know when I shop, I shops. Okay? When we go marketing, y'all know and y'all have heard me say, literally I may go to 3 and 4 markets in that day. It's an event, basically. Okay? Because y'all know I stockpile and stuff. Chuck does not let me carry any bags. even though he's disabled. Why? Because he holds me that high. Chuck does not let the fact that his spine is severely curved stop him from playing ball with Pootie. Do you understand what I'm saying? Chuck does not let that disability stop him from running our transportation company and taking those runs from here all the way to Hagerstown jail or from here all the way to Cumberland jail. He does not let that stop him from doing that. Why? Because he wants to provide for his family. He doesn't just want to depend on, okay, the state give me a little disability check. That's not Chuck at all. It never was him. And this has been embedded in him from literally from when he was born. This has been embedded in him. Chuck does not let that disability stop him from even having a part-time job that I don't even talk about. It's only 20 hours a week, but that's on top of us owning our transportation company. Nobody knows about that. And that man does not let that disability stop him from doing these things. Again, all while body is hurting severely. All while the disease progresses with age. Never, not once, and this is my hand to God, you guys, never, not once does Chuck play on his disability. Let me tell you something about Chuck and I. When I started dating Chuck, y'all won't believe it, and Chuck, you can verify this, I literally did not know about Chuck's disease until like 3 or 4 months after I married him. I didn't know what it was. Now, it's obvious from, if you see my husband, you probably haven't never seen my husband walk. My husband, like I said, has a spine curvature. So he does walk slightly bent over. I never would ask him. And some would say, why didn't you ask him? That's silly. You married him at that point. I never asked him because I felt as though, I'm pretty sure all of his life people asked him. People always wanted to know why. People wanted to know how. People always wanted to either make fun or judge or shake their head or say, oh man, you had it rough. Or people always gave the disease, the disability, attention. And me being his wife at that point, new wife at that point, I said to myself, I'm not going to give it any attention. I'm going to let him know and show him that I don't care what it is. In fact, I don't care what it is so much that I'm not even going to ever ask you about it. I want it to be something different than what he was always accustomed to. So I never asked. I waited for him to tell me. Now, Chuck being the type that don't even acknowledge his disability, Chuck didn't tell me till like 5 months after we was married. I'm thinking he'd tell me like 30 days before we got married or 2 weeks before we got married, even the day before we got married. He don't acknowledge it so much, y'all. He didn't tell me till like 5 months later. And he didn't even really sit me down and tell me. It just happened to come in the conversation. We was talking about something and it just popped up. That's how I found out about the disease. I had to go Google it. I had to go Google the disease, you guys. I didn't know nothing about it. Never even heard of it. And in fact, let me tell you how rare Chuck is. Not just as a man or as a father or as a husband. His disease is so rare that in our state, which is Maryland, when he was little, how many people had the disease in the whole United States?
4 or 5.
About 5 people had it in the whole United States, you guys.
No, Maryland.
In Maryland, I'm sorry. 5. Maryland ain't that small, y'all. 5. And how many were in wheelchairs, baby? For the rest of their, huh? 80% of people that had this disease, period, in general, I'm talking about even today, about 75 to 80% of them are in wheelchairs. My husband, thank you, Jesus, my husband walks. My husband walks to his car. My husband walks to Walmart. My husband walks when we going shopping. My husband walks when we going marketing. That's nothing but the grace of God. Chuck is literally, when people say you're a walking miracle, Chuck is literally a walking miracle. Because they asked Chuck when he was, what, you was 14, baby? About the surgery. They asked his mother when he was 14 years old if she wanted to, and he wanted to, go ahead and have the surgery to see if it could straighten out his spine. But it was a 50-50 chance. Now, the chances were, one side of the chance was it'll work. The other side of the chance, you are definitely going to be in a wheelchair. There is no ifs, ands, buts about it. It wasn't no middleman. It wasn't no, progressive thing. It was either that or that, period. And they opted out of the surgery. Because at that point, he had just gotten out of the wheelchair after being in it for so long, and for years and years and years, that he felt as though, I'm better than what I was at this point, at 14. So I'll take this, because I see this already a blessing anyway. I'll take this blessing and I'm good. You see what I'm saying? So they opted out of the surgery. Chuck has never... I just really can't imagine going through the stuff that Chuck went through and still able to love. To still able to be open. To still be able to open my heart to anybody. Because you can imagine, for one, he was biracial. For two, his parent, the man that he looked so much up to, his father died when, how old you was? 12, baby? It was the day before his 10th birthday. Now, mind you, this man was a king in his eyes and in so many eyes. Because he literally, his father was like, not to get too much into it, his father was big time, okay, in the state of Maryland, okay? So, he was like a godlike figure to his son, okay? So to have went through losing that your father, who you held so high, being biracial, being in a county that was still growing and trying to accept, if y'all understand what I'm saying. And then being faced with this disease that you've had to battle from the day that you came out the womb. I can't say that my heart would open up to people. Because I can imagine all the stuff that he's been through. I mean, even stuff that he's never even told me, I can just imagine. You understand what I'm saying? So, it says a lot about a person when they're able to endure all of these things. And still endure so much. But still able to love. Still able to connect. Still able to accept. It says a whole lot about a person. And Chuck is literally a miracle. Literally. And I thank God for Chuck. I thank God for Chuck showing me and teaching me things without him even speaking. Because he doesn't even know, and I don't tell him too often. He's sitting right here and he can hear me. He doesn't even know how much he actually teaches me. He doesn't even know how much he actually instills in me. He doesn't even know it. And I thank him so much for doing that, because it's making me grow. It's making me grow in a lot of ways. Being with Chuck has taught me how to accept people. Being with Chuck has taught me how to have a tolerance. Being with Chuck has taught me compassion even more. Being with Chuck has taught me how to not hold things against people all the time. he doesn't even know he's taught me a lot of these things. And I wanted to share our story with y'all, not for sympathy, not even for empathy. I wanted to share this story with y'all because I want us to understand that we have to stop looking at people for what they can do or what they have and see their value beyond that. Because I would have missed out on a wonderful husband. I would have missed out on a wonderful father. I would have missed out on being part of a wonderful family. I would have missed out on that if I would have just looked at the curve of his spine. Or if I would have looked at, you know, his ability or distance to be able to walk. Or if I would have looked at the way his fingers is and stuff like that. Because he does have, it almost, wasn't it like web when you was little?
Yeah.
It was web, but they disconnected them, right, or something?
No, they weren't all the way wet.
They are permanently like this. Okay? And if I would have looked at those things, I would have missed out on such a beautiful experience of being with that man. And I'm not saying he's perfect, because Chuck gets on my last nerve. And Chuck got a lot of mouth. Don't even get it twisted, y'all, because y'all heard me say I gotta kind of like, push him into opening up. Oh, that's to y'all. Chuck got a whole lot of mouth. Okay? But the person who he really is at core, I know I was made for him. I know it. That's why I stick it out. That's why no matter what we go through, I try to work it out. That's why when he does wrong, I had my lip poked out and I say I can't stand him and all that kind of stuff. But I continue to love him despite. I continue for us to go on this journey through life together. This is why. And y'all know I used to get on YouTube and we used to talk about stuff that he done did, and I used to say all kinds of stuff. I used to say some nasty stuff. I've never erased the videos. It's out there to be seen. But I leave them up for a purpose, because I want people to see how God can bring you through certain things. And I want people to see that despite what we did, or despite what he did, or despite what I said, that man loves me despite it. The stuff I've said, a lot of people would have been left. He said, But that man loves me despite it. The stuff I done said, a lot of people will hold it against me. In fact, a lot of YouTubers have said comments and held it against me. But the man that I was talking about, don't. I never hear him say anything about nothing I said on YouTube, and he just said he didn't heard it all. Let me tell you something. Chuck get my messages before I get them. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth, because Chuck has it hooked up to the business phone line, and all the messages that y'all send me comes through that phone. So even when Chuck ain't around me or sitting next to me, Chuck can read the messages. Chuck know all of y'all. All of y'all. Even the guys. Yup, big boy, he know you too. Because he be like, oh Lord, big boy talk about he love you again. But you know what? That stuff don't faze Chuck. Why? Because Chuck knows what he got. Chuck knows that what he gives me, another can't give me. And it ain't got nothing to do with money. It ain't got nothing to do with material things. And it ain't got nothing to do with sex. But what it got something to do with is he loves me with his whole heart. That's what it is. And he knows, because of the type of person I am, If you love me wholeheartedly, you got me. Chuck know exactly what he doing, don't you, Chuck?
Mm-hmm.
Chuck know exactly what he doing. And the thing is that you feel so special when the person that you're with thinks that they're the most lucky person in the world. But to him, I say, I feel so special because the person I'm with, the person that you are, makes me feel like I'm the luckiest person in the world. So, on that note, you guys, I just wanted to, we just wanted to open up to you guys about that. Hopefully, it came with a message to somebody. Um, and if not, it's just a testament to what God can do and the power that He has and the grace and the mercy that He bestows upon us. And it just gives you yet another flare or yet another side of our journey that I've displayed on YouTube of us together. So on that note, you guys, I love you all so much. I love you truly. And we say goodbye. Say bye, Daddy.
Bye.
So silly. Bye.